What's going on, everybody? Mark Veer here again, San Antonio basketball officials. I wanted to go over a play that we have on our first Facebook page, and then I'm able to use this Zoom. I can actually have the play run, freeze frame, stop, start, and kind of break down the full details of the clip. So this last clip was a great discussion. There's a transition play for you guys that did comment on Facebook. Really do appreciate it. You're doing that. We had some mixed feelings on it. 50-50. Some believe defensive foul, some believe offensive foul. So let's dive into the play, and hope you enjoy. What's been happening with Zoom is the clip has been kind of lagging a little bit and glitching. So hopefully it doesn't. I'll play it a few times through live, and then we'll go back and we'll freeze frame it frame by frame. Okay, so here's the play live coming at you. I'll even make it even a little bigger for us. Let's run it 2 more times. And 1 more. Okay, so when we're breaking down film, first thing we want to look at is positioning. And for y'all that follow my podcast or anything that we put on Facebook, always go to positioning. First thing, when we have the point of the foul, let's look at all 3 officials' positionings. Let's talk primary coverages, secondary coverages, and then we can get into the actual ruling on illegal, legal actions, and so forth. So this is a 3-person crew, so I will touch on just 3-person mechanics. I can kind of touch on a 2-person as well, but just for this sake, as it's a 3-person crew, let's talk coverage on this. We typically always talk about in transition, we have 3 lanes. We have lane 1, 2, and 3, or some like to call it ABC. All right. So if we just get into this clip, clearly the ball handler dribbler is in lane 3 or C. So if this is the case, even in 3-person, we need to be into this middle lane. So we should be in 2 or B to referee this play. One, we still have our backcourt count, and then we're going to be refereeing the defense and offense. This is obviously the primary matchup, most competitive matchup in the entire floor. This is where our eyes need to be, okay? But right away, we're too wide, as we can see at trail. We're all the way here in lane 1 or A. Action is over here in lane C or 3. So we would like for Trail to be trailing the play and be able to assist on this, even though the ball is going to be ending up going on C side in the backcourt. This is still going to be Trail's matchup primary. Once this ball starts to get closer to the division line, then we understand that this may end up in C's lap. Or if we have plays here in the backcourt, it's nothing wrong with C getting plays here, but Trail still has to stay on this play because they have their 10-second backcourt count. The center official does do a good job here looking back. He understands that this play is going to be coming towards him. He will have a better look on any illegal action here than Trail would over here. So C initially does a great job here. Understands that he's going to accept this play coming up the floor. Any illegal action, he's going to have the best look on it. For some reason, this is what the breakdown in the system right here. C then takes his eyes off the most competitive matchup we have on the entire floor. Nothing else on this floor is competitive except this. I understand why C takes his eyes off this play, because he wants to see if he's going to miss anything up here, which is also their primary. I'm okay with the peak, but then we've got to get eyes back. Also, when we talk about C and as far as our movement and positioning, we need to have our shoulders squared to the sideline. The moment we have our head going this way, now we're looking back, not going to have a great look. So we want to be squared, parallel, shoulders facing this way, so we can make, the correct call and also get a good look on this play. And here's the biggest thing to discuss in this play. We've got to look at illegal versus legal action. And then we've got to also talk about establishing and maintaining legal guarding position. All right. So if we go all the way back to the beginning of this play, we need to find out when, here's the offensive player, ball handler, dribbler, and the defender. We need to see if this defender, establishes legal guarding position. I'm sorry, number 3 right here, apologies. But right here, they've established 2 feet facing, torso facing the offensive player. So they have established. Now, if this had happened over here and they're side by side, then you don't need to establish legal guarding position. But just for this clip, they have established legal guarding position. If we're talking first illegal action, it's right there. If trail positioning would be where we talked about earlier in this B or 2 lane, here's the first illegal action. Offensive player goes into the path of, defensive player goes into the path of offensive player, that's a foul. We get the first illegal action, foul, black number 3. We'll bring the ball out over here on the sideline, we press on. However, we decide to pass on the first illegal action. We even get a reaction from white coach over here wanting a foul on the ball handler dribbler. The way the rules are written, rhythm, speed, quickness, balance, we have to protect ball handler dribbler. Can't impede. There's so many, can't hand check, 2 hands, belly bumps, body checks. There's so many things in the rule book that we cannot do. The game has changed. They want higher scores. They want freedom of movement. Okay, so it's pretty hard to play defense now. You can't use your hands like you used to. So that's the way that we need to be calling basketball, and that's at all levels. So here we pass on the first one. This possibly could be why we have a retaliation from white player here due to the fact that he feels like he's probably been bumped and we say ride up the floor all the way down the floor, okay? So first thing in this clip is that we missed the first illegal action, all right? Let's get beyond that. So we have now, let's take this play on its merit right here. This is where we get into the discussion of defensive player and offensive player. And then we need to understand where the illegal action is. What a lot of people said is that the offensive player now has their head and shoulders past the defender, which in this situation is absolutely correct, okay? That happens, now the onus is on the defense. However, they are both entitled to a path on the floor. And if we get into our rule book and we go to page 35 and we talk about guarding, Rule 4, Section 23, guarding, okay? And if we talk about Article 3, after the initial legal guarding position is obtained, okay, we talk about, and it has a few things here, the guard is not required to continue facing the opponent, okay? The guard may move laterally, obliquely to a maintained position, provided it is not towards the opponent when contact occurs, okay? So we take those principles. They don't have to then get back in front of that defender to be facing to maintain legal guarding position. You can run side by side. They're entitled to a path. Everyone's entitled to a spot on the floor. So on this play, this white line actually kind of helps us get this play right. So we take this white line right here, and black is entitled on that white line. We can see offense clearly goes into the path of black. Now, going back to the principles as head and shoulders past the defender, the onus is on the defense. If this isn't excessive and the white just continues to go to the basket, because they're head and shoulders past a defender, then they can come into this space because they already passed them. They can go on this path. It's no longer black's path because they've already passed them. So if this white dribbler just decides to go here and continue on their path to the basket, we will have nothing. However, this extension of the arm right here is illegal. That right there is illegal. So we take all the principles that we just talked about. This play, we should have a player control foul on white. Should come from C. If C, like we talked about earlier, one, positioning is okay, body mechanics not very good. Body position needs to be squared parallel to the sideline, and then looks at this play right here. They were the only one that could probably see this left offensive hand extend into black. When the point of the contact, C's not even looking at this play, trail too far in the backcourt, and this player is in their view. They're straight line, don't have a good look on this play at all. What we need to do at trail is we need to stay connected to plays, and we need to hustle, because this is clearly their secondary. Clearly their secondary, and trail can come and get this play. But trail doesn't guess because they don't have the full information. They may have seen the play start and develop, but they did not see the finish, the final product, to be able to put air in the whistle to get this play. It was a great discussion. I appreciate it. This isn't my opinion. I want you to understand that I talked to several referees, sent it over to them, and the majority of people that are working at extremely high level, this is what they said. Now, I can tell you 100% of referees did agree you cannot have a no call on this play. Unfortunately, we did. We actually had a no call due to the fact that C did not have a good look. Trail has no information. We end up not guessing, but unfortunately, we need to have it. We need to have a whistle on this play, and by our positioning and lack of trust of the system, we end up with a no call and we get plays wrong. Hopefully that helped you guys. I think this is a neat tool that we can use on Zoom so we can talk through it. Any questions, feedback, let me know. I'm going to throw this up on our Facebook page. It'll be on YouTube. Again, it's all about learning, growing, getting better is what we try to do. Season's right around the corner. Serve the game. Talk to you guys soon. Take care. Mark Veer.